Welcome back, guys. And I know I'm kind of late to the party. This came out over a month ago, but life kind of gets in the way. New job, and also hurricanes have not been fun. So I had a wedding in Asheville, North Carolina, and there was a hurricane that kind of, changed plans there, but everyone was safe. The wedding went off. It was great. Came home, and then there was another hurricane in Orlando. So, definitely throws lots of plans off. So I have some free time. This is my first weekend where I actually get to hang out and open some things, have a play day. And I've just really wanted to talk about this Vanguard. So, again, there's been a lot of videos that have come out about this already. So, I'm not going to dive too deep into it. Like, I think we've all seen it. But just kind of go over some of the main points of things that, if I can add anything new to the conversation, that's what I'm going to try to do right now. So first, let me give some backstory as the way that I remember it. I remember the His Tank came out, and I thought it was cool. I just didn't purchase it because at that time, I was telling myself I was not gonna start collecting GI Joe. Fast forward, obviously, I've started collecting GI Joe, so I didn't hold up too well on that. But there was some kind of back and forth between the Action Force fans, the GI Joe fans, and I think a lot of people were telling Bobby Valla from Action Force, well, if you're criticizing this vehicle, why don't you make one? And then he did, and it was cheaper. Definitely a cheaper price point. It wasn't behind a crowd fund, so already there was some kind of back and forth controversy or just bickering about this product. So I'm not here to defend one over the other because I like both. I think the main thing is, I probably would have got the His Tank if I was collecting G.I. Joe at the time, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because I barely have enough room for this Vanguard, and I do have some other 112 vehicles that I do have, and got to find a place for them. So this is just a good vehicle because, it doesn't have to go with your G.I. Joe. Like the His Tank is so iconically G.I. Joe, you can't really use it in other displays, and that's why I really wanted this. So let's take a look at it real quick. The box has nothing special, I'd say. It has just that outline of the actual Vanguard, Valaverse logo, and Resvani is the name of the actual company. This is based off an real vehicle, so that's pretty interesting. The only thing of note, I would say, is the back of the box. You have a list of everything that the Vanguard comes with. You see the driver, and then all this kind of added bonus stuff that comes with it. So that's pretty cool. But I'm kind of glad that this didn't have like some fancy mural or artwork on it because I don't have room to collect boxes. And there's some toy lines where I literally just keep the boxes because they're so cool. But the one thing I will say is do not get rid of your 5 action points. So that's pretty neat. You get 5 action points with the Vanguard. So I got to start just collecting mine, getting them all organized. So in case I ever go to use them, I have them. All right, so let's take a look at this thing. All right, so real quick, let's look at this Vanguard. Pretty much how it comes straight out of the box. However, I did change one thing just to talk about it later. And it does come with the gun barrett kind of cover. So I just put the cap on for now, but that's caused some controversy. So we'll chat about that. So you do get the vehicle, and then you do get a driver. And again, people complaining about the driver. So one, I totally forgot this even came with a figure, so I guess it's neither here nor there. He's not terribly exciting to me. I think he's fine, for just a random guard or driver, he's fine. But the part that I like most about him, I found most people are complaining about. I'm not a military guy, so the further away from like military reality is fine for me because I don't really care about that. People were complaining that the face mask looks like a paintball mask, which I'm totally cool with because I love paintball. I used to play paintball all the time, so I think that's pretty neat. That actually looks like the mask I had, so I'm not going to complain there. It looks cool. I guess if I had to complain about the figure, he came out with different color Vanguards. Maybe it would have been cool to get like drivers that match the vehicle. The green maybe doesn't match all too well. Maybe all black. Like this would have looked really sick, either black and gray. But either way, it's another figure. It's another grunt, another, random troop builder. So he's pretty cool. I think he does have like some new articulation, which is fine. But again, if he's the driver, he's just going to be sitting in there all the time. And I might not even have him in there. He might not be my driver because I didn't even know I was getting this figure. I just ordered it without even looking at many of the details. But that's pretty much it that I'm going to talk about with him. Seen him before. Now, let's look at this vehicle and let's talk about some of the main criticisms, I guess. I guess one of the main ones is that it looks like a mom van, which is funny, but I think it's, being a little disingenuous. It's big and chunky, I guess, which maybe people are making the comparison to like a Barbie vehicle, but this is what the vehicle looks like, and it's to scale to the figures. And this is a real vehicle, and it's a tactical vehicle. I really hope this is like more for like special ops or police stations. I hope this is not like something that just any old civilian can buy, because then that would be scary. This thing, if you watch some of the videos about it, it pretty much has the capabilities of the Batman tumbler. So I don't know if I want some of my neighbors driving around with those capabilities, because they can barely parallel park. So anyways, it's a cool vehicle, and I'm not even kidding, it does have a lot of the same capabilities as the tumbler. Can it climb and drive on ceilings? I don't think so, but it really does do a lot of those other things, which is kind of crazy. I did get the standard stealth gray, I guess you call, but there was one that was a desert theme. There's ones with mud on it, and then there's the bright pink one, which there's only 50 of them, so I don't think I'll get my hands on it. And a comparison, like I said before, I think calling it a Barbie vehicle is maybe, or a mom van is maybe disingenuous. What I would say a comparison is to some other vehicles that are out there to market that have the similar shape. This is the shape of my car. I have a Jeep Renegade, and it's very similar. It's not the same, it's similar. So we're already getting a hot pink version of this. If this came in the version of green or chartreuse of my car, I would 100% buy this again. And if I do get my hands on the pink one, I would buy that again. But if it actually came in like a neon bright green, I would 100% get it. I would almost buy another one of these to customize and get, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Pretty cool. You can already see you have lots of display options. So you can open the doors, so you can fit 4 figures on the inside, both back seat, front, passenger, and then you have peg holes here. So mix up your Action Force and G.I. Joes, because there's tons of figures that can go here. Pretty cool. The doors do come off. I'm not going to go through the trouble of popping them off, though. But you can also get a figure in the trunk, and there's some other details you can get there. Whereas Vonnie has the actual logo on it. So all in all, just on this bottom portion, you can have 4 figures on the inside. You can have 4 figures on the pegs, 1 in the back, and probably 1 up there, which is pretty cool. Let's talk about some of the things that people are complaining about. I think people are a little pissed that the hood doesn't open and that there's no engine inside, comparing it to the Vamp. So, okay, I have both. Let's just take a look. Pop the hood. You can see the engine inside. I guess it's pretty cool, but you cannot do that here. Unless you're a toy photographer, I don't know what value that has. Because for me, it's not like Hasbro went all out here and added all this crazy detail. It's just a solid hunk of plastic. Okay, so toy photographers probably would want that. I get it. But to me, it's not the end of the world. Okay? What else are people complaining about? Well, I guess that the Vamp has suspension and that the Vanguard doesn't. And I will say the Vanguard, when you turn the wheels, the actual steering wheel moves, where the Vamp does not. Either way, I don't know what people are complaining about. Even if you are a photographer or a display collector, what does the suspension matter? And while this is a nice detail, what does that matter? But still, people find a reason to complain, which I think is hilarious. Also, people are kind of talking like the Vamp is perfect. It's not perfect. in any way. I mean, these lights pop off like crazy, and getting a figure on that back turret is super annoying. That I know Gridiron Studio, I think, had to make up pieces to actually like get someone to stand on the back, which is fine. I like that people are doing that, but it's just kind of one of those like little details. This is cool, but it's not perfect. So I wouldn't complain about something else. Wish there we go. Those lights fell off. But again, you could like both. But is anything going to be perfect? I don't think so. Now, before we look at some of the other details or some of the extra components that came with this Vanguard, what would I have liked to see? And this is not a complaint. This is just more of a, I probably would have liked to see X versus Y. Something else I think people should know is that Bobby took off shipping cost. If you purchase this from Valverse.com, he was able to negotiate, I guess, lower shipping cost and took that cost off the price of the consumer, which is kind of unheard of. So, man, that's really awesome. What would I have liked to see? I don't know. Maybe I would have just said, keep that money and throw in some extra stuff. At that point, it was probably too late. Or I would have said, of course, this was probably way into production, so you couldn't do it. But I would have spent extra money to have these lights light up. And I've seen people do it where it doesn't look too hard, which is cool. But, I think the price point for this was good enough that I would have threw in an extra $20 for like a light up version. So grateful that we got the shipping cost back. And if there was an option to kind of like keep the money and add something extra, I would have done that. But pretty cool. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are kind of giving you money back after you make a purchase saying, well, we saved money on shipping, so here's a little piece back, which is pretty nice. All right, let's talk about one more thing that pissed everyone off. So the Vanguard didn't come with this piece. I actually put that on. But this is the top cover closed. I get this criticism. This probably should have come with some kind of mechanism where you can like pop it open. I get that. So just the detail missed. I don't think, again, it's the end of the world, but that's something as a toy photographer, which would probably be a pretty cool shot if you can have someone opening that latch. So that's a fair criticism. I'm not going to deny that. But the Vanguard actually comes in the box with this turret piece on. So this just snaps right in. And here's the big source of contention, is that it comes with this turret gun, which looks great. But there's no way to point it up, right? I don't care. But there are some people that really care about this. I get it. So just like Bobby went back with shipping and handling, gave us money back, he's making it right. There's some other packages coming out which will come with it, which I think is pretty cool. But for me, this is like the least interesting part of the Vanguard. And this is not how I'm going to display it, but that's just me. So maybe I just don't want to complain about it because I'm never going to even use this. Maybe I will. But for me, the part that goes on it, that I'll show in a bit, I think is way more interesting. But for all intents and purposes, the details on this are pretty cool. You got the bullet guns, the bullet boxes, I don't even know what you call them. Again, not a military guy. Those are fixed on there, which I like because if you have the vamp, those things just kind of hang there, fall off, like they're just kind of loosey-goosey. So either way, I like that. I like the design of that, and I'm glad he is making it right, because it would be cool to get a figure just kind of, pointing this in different directions, but, whatever. There was even people making 3D printed parts, so even if he wasn't making it, there's an option, and again, you shouldn't have to do that, but, again, you're trying to get a product out to market, sometimes things slip through the cracks, and then it's up to that company whether they're going to rectify it or not. So it seems like he is, which I think is pretty cool. Now, something else that we got are some cool blast effects for the turret. And I'm going to put these on here. I think that looks awesome. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why it's not on there, because it needs to be pretty sturdy, like not having that hinge. But, because this is pretty heavy, and this can hold it pretty well. So this needs to be a solid piece of plastic, which is pretty neat. And then you just need to be able to kind of have something strong to hold it. So I think that's fine. I'd be curious to see with the expansion pack. That expansion pack is going to be more of like a, I guess, a riot pack. Going to have pieces that you can clip onto the windshield, the front. But for all intents and purposes, this is pretty cool. And I do like that. So something else that is pretty neat, you get some another baggie of accessories, and you can pop this open. And then you do get another boom arm, so you can get a character, a figure in the back there. And this is so they can have a gunner. So you can put this gun on here, I believe. And then you have room for bullets. So I'll just pour the rest out of this baggie, take a look at it. So something else that I kind of guess piss people off is that you do get this gunner turret right here. And the setup is not, I would say it's not that great. Okay, so these bullets are too long, so it ends up just bending there. But most people are just cutting them, right? You know, a small detail missed. But again, if you have the vamp, you know this was not great on the vamp either. This was really annoying. So I don't know, maybe it's just something about those that a little hard to get it right. Again, it's cool that we were giving it to us, even though there's like a little problem with it. I'm not gonna, I guess, complain all too much about it, but I gotta figure out how to get this on. I think maybe it just clips onto that back there. There you go. So this is cool. It's on that boom arm. Again, you can get a figure in there. You do have this extra kind of strip of bullets, which is cool. And then you get these gas or water tanks. Again, not in the military. I have no idea. And I can also see why, if you were kind of upset that the turrets didn't have that ability to hinge forward, because I think the vehicle that's coming out next is an aerial vehicle for the swarm. So yeah, how are they going to be able to shoot those guys when they're all the way down here? So I get it. But let's go to my favorite accessory that probably came with this thing, which I haven't seen too many complaints about, so that's good. But let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, like I said before, I'm not going to complain about the turret all too much because I am never going to use this. Like, this is cool, but it is not for display purposes only. This interests me the least. So this will kind of just go back in the box. But I'm really excited for this, the Vanguard Missile Launcher Pack Stealth Gray. I guess that's the color of what I got. Don't even remember. And you do get some action points, which is sweet. I gotta remember not to throw that out when I get rid of this. But yeah, if you pre-ordered through Action Force, you did get this rocket launcher. And this is what I knew I was getting this. And I totally forgot we were getting this figure. So didn't really care about this guy. But I was most excited about the vehicle itself, but mostly because of this. So let's get this out and check out this rocket launcher. Out of the box, you get some of your different missiles. They look pretty cool. It's nice. Let's see. Oh, wow. Then you get a whole baggie of other missiles to go in there. And then, that's it. Pretty simple. So, I like how everything was wrapped. Like nothing, because it was straight to consumer, nothing came in all those annoying S-ties, which is pretty cool. But, man, yeah, this thing's cool. It's pretty hefty. Let's see. It doesn't turn, but I think that's because once you have this on top, it can turn in the direction you want. But 12 different peg holes, then back for some effects, I'm assuming. So let's get this on. Oh yeah, so the turntable is actually up there. So this can turn any way you want, which is pretty neat. And those can hinge up, which, again, I know you probably want to do this with the Barrett gun, but my Vanguard will always be displayed with this rocket launcher. Why? Because it's different. There's not many rocket launchers in my collection. This thing is going to look badass. All right, now if I have to find things to complain about, this is all you get as far as firing ones, but knowing Bobby, he'll probably release these as expansion packs in themselves, but I would have liked more of these so that you can put on the back. But these are pretty cool. They're all different lengths of firing, but I would kind of want to display this with every single one launching. I don't know if that's realistic, but who cares? In my toy world, all of these rockets would be going off at once, ready to do some damage. So, oh yeah. Like, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty sick. And then turning it over, and this is where I would have liked to see more of kind of the backfire there. You can tell I don't even know if I'm using the correct terminology. I'm assuming the one that's the shortest would probably get that. So that looks pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know why you'd shoot it that close down. Maybe you would if there's a ground assault. But pretty neat. And again, this thing can turn. So I think that looks pretty cool. And then looking at all these little missiles, they look like little bullets. But you can just plug those in. So I mean, this is just fun. And I get it, you know, you're paying for a product, you do have the right to kind of critique it, which is fair, but I mean, this is toys. It's not going to be perfect. So I'm not saying don't complain. I'm just saying, you know, maybe put a little more nuance into the reason why you're complaining, I guess. I don't know. To argue that one company is perfect over the other is so weird to me. But this is just a cool product. It's fun. Just like the Vamp was fun. No complaints there. Well, I do, but not a lot. You know, I have a few extra missiles, so I'll probably just stick those in the trunk when I'm done. The driver does come with a few extra things. So every Action Force figure does come with a stand, which is cool. Just kind of keep that going. I think that's pretty neat. So get that open. And, you know, you get more of the same, what you're used to getting with Action Force products. They're pretty cool. I like the stand. I always think that's a nice touch. Comes with a gun. This was another, I guess, gripe. You know, he has nowhere to store it, which I get that. Like, every other figure has a place to hold their gun, so would have been cool if maybe they had something here, but maybe I could take something off another figure and trade it, but that was a miss, I feel like. These were really cool. You know, really small detail. Vanguard, energy drink, coffee cup. There's cup holders in the back of the truck, so those can go in there. And then an assortment of extra hands. He always does the fisted hands, the cupped hands, so you can hold the barrel of the gun. And then some closed gripping hands. So, pretty neat. Let's see, which one of these holds the can? Oh, wow. So the open cup hand actually holds the cup. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure this will hold the can. You could probably get the thumb around it. Probably not this hand. But probably have to use these hands if I had to assume. But, yeah, too big. They'll probably go in the trigger hand if I had to guess. But still, cool detail, you know. I'm always a fan of 1/12 scale diorama accessories, and that looks pretty cool. So he can drink it right through his paintball mask. Alright, now you have the sticker sheet, which again, a nice touch. This I will never touch. I'm just gonna, maybe I will take some of these stickers and use them on like a base diorama. I don't know, maybe I'll put these on some barrels. Just something to use them, but I really want to keep this Vanguard as generic as possible. While I'll probably have most of the Action Force GiJoe Joe figures on it, I don't want there to be anything kind of distinguishing it from anything else. Just generic. That's fine with me. But I do like that you get all these things. So there's ones that are very Action Force related, right? Swarm, crossing them off, kill count. And then these are cool, but I hate bumper stickers. Like, I just feel like the people that put bumper stickers on their car think that people care about what they have to say, so, you know, we shoot back. Whatever. Student driver are always, then they drive like dicks. What can you say? Action Force Honor Student. That one's pretty funny. Swarm Pest Control. I do like that one. So it's a cool touch. It's for people that, maybe want to just spruce it up a little bit, but this is a cool bonus that I will not use. And then on the back, you get a file card. Oh, the figure has a name, the Reaper. So that's pretty sweet. I bet these were instructions, which is good because I don't know how to take the doors off yet, so I'm sure the instructions show you how. So this is cool that it came with a file card. Didn't realize that, but again, more on par with what you normally get. So I think it's pretty cool. Neat. Just looking at the Vanguard one last time. I mean, I love it. This is going to be a great generic vehicle for whatever toy line I want. Doesn't just have to be G.I. Joe, Action Force. I can use this with my Marvel Legends, right? Really cool. So I think it's versatile. It has a lot of different display options you can have. But again, if they made this in a neon green, I'd be all over it, just like the neon pink one is, but I don't think I'll be able to get my hands on that. This thing's pretty cool. And okay, so we've already kind of compared to the Vamp a little bit. The Vamp is a fine vehicle. There's nothing wrong with it, right? The only way I would get, I know they keep re-releasing this because, there was many different repaints of it. The only way I'd buy, maybe not the Vamp, but the Thunder Tank, is if it came out in like the neon colors, kind of mimic the Thunder Tank that we're probably going to get, that used to come with Thrasher from G.I. Joe. Also was re-released that came with Blanca and Chun-Li from the Street Fighter G.I. Joe crossover. Anyway, getting off topic, but they're just re-releasing this in a bunch of different colors, which is cool. I would get it if it came in some sort of neon Ninja Force homage, but for what it is, it's cool. Again, it's not perfect. These stupid lights pop off. There's a lot of the same elements. We got 2 shovels. We get both of these hooks. So I don't know why people are comparing the Vanguard to the Vamp, I guess, because I don't know, the Hiss tank seems comparable in size, but maybe it's just because, wheeled 4-wheel vehicle to 4-wheel vehicle. I don't really know. Either way, I didn't get the Hiss tank, not because I'm a hater. It's just I didn't get the Hiss tank because I was still holding strong, not buying G.I. Joe at the time. If that would come out today, I'd lose that battle and there would be a Hiss tank in my room now. But I do have other 1/12 scale vehicles. All right, let's talk about how, I guess, let's address the comments of people saying that the Vanguard is cheap, it's crap, it's a Barbie vehicle. Again, I kind of went over why I don't think that's true, but let's talk about something that I truly love in my collection. Like, I love it. I love it. And I'm going to say that multiple times before I say, it's kind of a piece of trash. I love my NECA Turtle Van. But this thing is so fragile. And the plastic is that same brittle NECA plastic, where I treat this thing like it's a piece of porcelain. So, not that I'm going to. If I was to drop both of these off of this shelf right now, I'm pretty sure the Vanguard would stand the fall. This Turtle Van would break apart. And again, I have to treat this thing very carefully. When I move it, I'm always like gasping, clenching things. But I love it. Like, it looks fantastic. I love having it in my collection. I don't love is the worry of if I tap into it the wrong way, or if something falls on here, it's going to snap those pieces off and I'll never get replacements, right? That's the fear. So the cheap discussion or the cheap argument, I'm going to say, I don't think that holds up, because it's a fairly strong vehicle. I think it looks great. Plastic is definitely no different than the plastic that Hasbro uses. Maybe there is, I don't know. But it has a durable feel. Again, what I would like to see, the price point was way more on this, obviously. IP licensed product. But I would have liked to see maybe a higher price. I would have paid a little more money on the Vanguard to get some light up functions. Because if I do go to mod that myself, it would be cool to learn a new skill, but, do I really want to mess with that? Either way, still pretty cool. And just because I got it in and I actually opened this up during the hurricane, we were just spoiled right now with 1/12 or bigger vehicles. So I think it's great that we're getting a lot of this great IP, centered vehicle type product. But again, just nice to have this comparison. So I think these look great together, two different scales, but it still looks pretty good together. So if you wanted your Batmobile destroying this military truck, you could. So I think that would look great in photos. And I just want to make this really quick comparison. In terms of comparing durability, I mean, the Vanguard reminds me of how solid this Hasbro Fortnite boat is. So if you're wondering if it's cheap or not, no, these feel very similar. And this is a solid quality product. Why they made it for Fortnite, thinking that it would be a big selling product. This went straight to clearance, and then GiJoe Classified fans, customizers snatched these up. I think I picked this up for like $15. And it's cool. It holds like 5 different figures, which is cool. Oh my god, I have a GiJoe Classified and an Action Force figure together. Oh no. We're good. Anyway, spoiled with 1/12 scale vehicles. That's just how I am. So I'm not in either camp of 100% G.I. Joe, 100% Action Force. I'm somewhere snugly fit in the middle, and that's where I'm happy. This works great for me. I love this. I think it's great. I think it complements your G.I. Joe Classified stuff. So what else can I say? All right, guys. So that's it. I didn't want to do a full-on review. I just really wanted to talk about this thing because I've had it for a few weeks now. I know it's kind of old news, but I just kind of wanted to, throw in my 2 cents for anyone that was listening. I think it's a cool product. Might not be for everybody because you might not like Action Force, or you might be a hardline G.I. Joe fan, whatever. I guess what I'm just trying to say is enjoy both. They're both fine. They're both not perfect. They're both, just, they exist. So let them exist together. I think it's cool. So either way, let me know if this is something you've purchased, if you enjoy it. If you purchased it and didn't enjoy it, I kind of want to know why. So let me know as well. But I don't know. I don't think we have too much to complain about. This is in terms of just collecting in general. I think this is a great time to be a collector because we have so many options. I'm trying not to buy too many of these vehicles because room is definitely tight. But if I'm going to buy one more 1/12 scale vehicle, I really do want the Ramen van. So I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Hopefully it's still available. But other than that, just finally getting some generic, special ops vehicles in the collection. This is awesome. All right, guys. That's all I got. So if you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Now that the hurricane's over, I'm going to start putting back together my workbench in the garage, and let's get some dioramas built. So until the next episode, we'll catch you next time.